Hello students, so in today's session we are going to start our new topic, that is biomolecules. So in previous class we have already completed that coordination compound. So after that, biomolecule. So what do you mean by biomolecule, children? Biomolecule is a chemical compound found in all living organisms. What do you mean by biomolecule? Biomolecule is a chemical compound which is found in all living organisms, which is present in all organisms, all living organisms, right? So here mainly the biomolecules are composed of carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, sulfur. The main components of this compound are carbon, oxygen, hydrogen, nitrogen and sulfur. So, and we can simply say biomolecules are the building blocks for every living organism. Understand? We can simply say the biomolecules are the building blocks for a living substance or a living organism. So, if you see the biomolecules, first one is carbohydrates. So, the carbohydrates which can also be called as saccharides. What? Saccharides. So, carbohydrates are saccharides. They are nothing but they are optically active polyhydroxyaldehydes or ketones. What do you mean by carbohydrates, children? They are optically active polyhydroxy. What do you mean by poly? Poly means many, hydroxy means OH groups. So that means carbohydrates contains more than one OH groups along with their aldehydes or ketones. So they are called carbohydrates. If we see their classification of carbohydrates are of three types. In that the first classification based on hydrolysis. So look at here, the classification of carbohydrates, it is divided into three types: monosaccharides, oligosaccharides and polysaccharides. So what do you mean by monosaccharides? Mono means single, isn't it? So the monosaccharides are the carbohydrates which cannot be hydrolyzed further. That means the monosaccharides which cannot be give more units, okay, which cannot can be divided into more units. That is called which cannot be hydrolyzed further. They are called monosaccharides. So in nature we almost found 20, okay, almost 20 monosaccharides are known. Only 20 monosaccharides are known. In that the examples are glucose and fructose. So what is the first classification, children? The classification based on hydrolysis. Under hydrolysis, how many units are they are going to give? So based on that, it is of three types: monosaccharides, oligosaccharides and polysaccharides. Monosaccharides means which cannot be hydrolyzed further. So the monosaccharides which cannot be simplified or it cannot be divided more. So they are called monosaccharides. Example, glucose and fructose. The next one is oligosaccharides. That means they can be hydrolyzed on hydrolysis. If you take these oligosaccharides under hydrolysis, they are going to yield 2 to 10 monosaccharide units. Oligosaccharides, if undergo hydrolysis process, they are going to give 2 to 10 monosaccharides. So here di, tri, tetra, etc. like that. So I will explain you later what do you mean by di, tri. Di means 2, tri means 3. Okay, di means 2 saccharides, tri means 3 saccharides, they are going to be divided. So example here is maltose. Maltose is a disaccharide which consists of 2 glucose units. Whereas a sucrose is also a disaccharide which consists of glucose and fructose. Next comes to polysaccharides. Polysaccharides means polymer like large molecule. Poly means many units it contains. Poly means many, isn't it? Example, starch and cellulose and glycogen. Starch, cellulose and glycogen. So if we see the formula will be C6H10O5 N. N means number of units. So this is the basic unit for polysaccharides. So this is the first classification of carbohydrates. Mainly carbohydrates. What do you mean by carbohydrates, children? They are optically active polyhydroxyaldehydes or ketones. So carbohydrates, where it is used? Carbohydrates are used as storage molecule such as starch in plants and glycogen in animals. The cell wall of a bacteria and plants are also made up of cellulose. So there also these carbohydrates are present. So our first classification based on hydrolysis. Next classification based on taste. Okay, based on taste. Either they may be sweet or they may not be sweet. That means sweet and not sweet. Sweet means what? If the carbohydrates are sweet in sugar, means sweet in taste, that means they contain sugar, isn't it? So under these sweet saccharides, the carbohydrates, the mono and disaccharides comes under sweet type of carbohydrates. And a non-sweet, that means it does not contain any sugar molecules. So what comes under? Polysaccharide comes under not sweet or non-sugar classification. So already we have discussed in polysaccharides. What are the example, children? Starch, cellulose, glycogen. So here no glucose units are present, or means fructose or anything. That means they are not sweet in nature. Next, the second classification is based on taste. It is of two types, sweet and not sweet. Sweet means it contains a sugar. That means example, monosaccharides and disaccharides. And not sweet, they are non-sugar. That means example, polysaccharides. And the next classification based on reducing power. Okay, next third classification based on reducing action. So here it is of divided into two types, reducing sugars and non-reducing sugars. Reducing sugars and non-reducing sugars. What do you mean by reducing sugars? If a sugar which is capable of reducing filling solution and tolerance reagent, then they comes under reducing sugars. So all monosaccharides have capable of reducing this filling solution or tolerance reagent. So they are called reducing sugars. Example, all monosaccharides. Then what do you mean by not reducing sugars? If a sugar which is not capable of reducing filling solution and tolerance reagent are called non-reducing sugars. Example, disaccharides. But some of it only non-reducing sugars. For example, look at here, sucrose. Sucrose is a non-reducing sugar. Maltose. Maltose is also disaccharide, but it is a reducing sugar. So examples are disaccharides, but all of them are not non-reducing sugars. Understand, children? Example, sucrose is a non-reducing sugar, maltose is a reducing sugar, which are having a capable of reducing tolerance reagent and filling solution. Yes, so now you are having an idea about what you mean by monosaccharide, disaccharide, polysaccharide, like that. So first category, that is monosaccharides. Mono means a single, okay? Monosaccharides. If the monosaccharide contains aldehyde group, then they are termed as aldose. If they contain ketone or keto group, then they are known as ketos. And basing on number of carbon atoms, they may be triose, tetrose, pentose, etc. So look at here, children, what I said based on carbon, okay, number of carbon atoms. So some little classification is there. Number of carbons, general term, aldehyde if they contain aldehyde group, or if they contain ketonic group. So what will be happen? If number of carbons are 3, the general term is triose. If they contain aldehyde group, then it is aldotriose. If they contain ketone group, ketotriose. Understand? Next one is fourth one. Number of carbons are 4. If number of carbons are 4, the general term is tetrose. If they contain aldehyde, it is aldotetrose. If they contain ketone, that is ketotetrose. Next one, if number of carbons are 5, then general term is pentose. If they contain aldehyde group, that is aldopentose. If they contain ketone group, they are ketopentose. Next, number of carbons are 6. General term will be hexose, isn't it? So aldehyde, if they contain aldehyde group, they are aldohexose. Ketone group, ketohexose. If they contain number of carbons 7, they are heptose. Heptose is a general term. Aldoheptose, ketoheptose. Understand, children? So these are the terms how you have to write for monosaccharides. If they contain 3 carbons or 4 carbons or 5 carbons, if they contain aldehyde group, you have to add aldo. If they contain ketone group, you have to add keto, and the general term will be continue. So look at this structure, children. Here aldehyde group is there, OH, HCH2OH. The general name for this is glyceraldehyde. This one is glyceraldehyde. It is a monosaccharide containing 3 carbons. Where are the 3 carbons, children? Here 1, 2 only there. But where is another one? It will be present at the center here. Here connection is there, means here another carbon will be present. So 3 carbons are there. That means and one aldehyde group is also present, isn't it? If three carbons are there, what is the general term? Triose. And if they contain aldehyde group, what is the general term? And aldehyde means what happens, children? What is the name? It is aldotriose. Aldotriose. So look at this structure. Here also three carbons are present, and here not aldehyde, ketone group is present. See, double bond O, ketone group is present. If three carbons are present, it is a triose, and it containing a functional group ketone. That means it is ketotriose. What the name? Ketotriose. Next comes to D and L notations. D and L notations. So this represent the configuration of the molecule. So look at here, same that this structure only I am taking, glyceraldehyde I have taken. So here if the OH group is present to the right side of the CH2OH, then it is called D notation. Then it is called D notation. Understand, children? To the adjacent carbon, if the OH group is present at the right side, then it is called D notation. D notation. That is a dextrorotatory compound. It is a dextrorotatory compound. And when it is moving, when it shows a clockwise direction, then it becomes as a D plus glyceraldehyde. Then you have to add D plus, and the general name is glyceraldehyde. So look at this structure, children. Here to the adjacent carbon, OH group is present at left side. Left side is present means it is a LEVO configuration, means L notation. Okay, L notation. And left side means what it is? It is moving in anti-clockwise direction. Here it is clockwise, here is anti-clockwise. Anti-clockwise means it is a negative sign. We have to keep a negative sign. So L minus glyceraldehyde. L minus glyceraldehyde. So you have to remember one thing, children. Glucose is always a dextrorotatory. That means D plus glucose only you will get the structure. This one is a Fischer projection formula for glucose. Fischer projection formula for glucose. The glucose formula is C6H12O6. Isn't it? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 carbons are there. And OH groups here. Okay. Here it is there, and it take the last carbon atom. To the last carbon atom, OH group is present at the right side. Okay, right side. That means it is a D, and it is moving in clockwise direction. Okay, clockwise direction. So it will be plus. So the name will be D plus glucose. D plus glucose. And next comes to preparation of glucose. Preparation of glucose. So glucose can be prepared by two methods. The first one is laboratory method, and the second one is a commercial method. For laboratory purpose, we are taking disaccharides. That means two monosaccharides. Isn't it? Disaccharides means two monosaccharides should be present. So for that I have taken sucrose. Okay, sucrose I am taking sucrose, which is a disaccharide which contains glucose and fructose. Glucose molecule and fructose molecule. So it is a disaccharide. So the formula will be C12H22O11. When it undergo hydrolysis in the presence of acid like HCl or H2SO4, it yields two monosaccharides. That only we have to prepare a glucose. So two glucose units we are going to get. That is one glucose and another is fructose. So this is the first preparation in laboratory. We have taken disaccharides, that is a sucrose. So sucrose on hydrolysis in the presence of acid, it is going to yield two monosaccharides. Next comes to commercial method. Commercial method I am taking polysaccharides. Polysaccharide means what? Example we are having starch, cellulose and glycogen. Isn't it? Starch, cellulose and glycogen. Then what do you mean by glycogen, children? The carbohydrates are stored in the animal body as glycogen. It is also known as animal starch. Animal starch. So that is glycogen. In commercial method preparation of glucose, I am taking example polysaccharide, that is starch which is present in plants. So we have to take the starch which contains lot of proteins and fibers. So we need to remove these proteins and fibers by soaking. Okay, by soaking of starch. So after soaking, the starch will become as gelatination. So starch gelatination, it is gelatination. So on hydrolysis, what is the formula for polysaccharide? C6H10O5N. Okay, so polysaccharides means many units it will be present. So C6H10O5 to the power N. When it undergo hydrolysis, it yields NC6H12O6. So this is the formula for glucose. But how many? N number of units. N number of units. So this is about the preparation of glucose, and I have given introduction for biomolecules and what are carbohydrates, and all you have learned from this class. In the next class we are going to deal with the structures of glucose units. Understand structures of this carbohydrates or glucose units. Thank you, children.